I'm your host, Stassi Schroeder. Welcome to Tell Me Lies, the official podcast. What's the most unhinged thing of season 3?
Steven, because he's so evil.
I do think he is misunderstood.
You see everyone face consequences.
It's intoxicating. The writers just know how to trick you.
There's always a twist in this show. It's nothing you would expect.
Tell Me Lies, the official podcast, January 6th, and stream the new season of Tell Me Lies, January 13th on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Katie, I am so excited to talk about McGee Me, episode 1, The Big Lie. I have a question for you. How familiar are you or were you with McGee Me?
You know, I thought I was 100% not familiar with this one, but as I watched it, all I could think was, is that Kazoo Kid? And then 2, I was like, the animation, I can't tell if it's just Snap, Crackle, Pop and like one of those animations, or I am familiar with this show. There were parts that were very familiar, but maybe it was just like people were showing me scenes throughout life.
It's like, possible.
It's hard to see if it's like semi-familiar.
I know that I had rented McGee Me as a young child, like early elementary school.
Okay.
I think my mom rented some of these for me.
Okay.
And I had mostly forgotten about it. I remembered the look of McGee and that was it. But when this started with this like Rube Goldberg pencil sharpener thing, I was like, why is this wildly familiar to me? Like just that part. And I think it's because it was the opening credits. Like that's how the show's all open. I guess I watched all of the tapes. So there were 9 tapes that were made of McGee Me in 1989 to 1990. Mm. Then in 1993, they brought it back for 3 more episodes and called it The New Adventures of McGee Me.
Ooh, I wonder if that's what it was. Okay.
And then in 1995, they had a one-off special that was almost like a clip show exclusively of the McGee animated segments.
Interesting.
So it's kind of a weird history with that, but this aired on ABC.
I thought so. I thought, if nothing else, it felt like a Saturday morning cartoon.
It says on January 25th, 1992, ABC aired The Big Lie as a pilot for a possible series run. The episode was part of the ABC Weekend Special series. The ABC spokesperson did say, however, that the episode had to be edited to allow for commercials, and they removed any specific Christian references.
That makes sense.
Another episode called Take Me Out of the Ball Game was also played as part of the ABC Weekend Special on September of the same year.
Okay.
And I thought that this was interesting. There was a review, and I actually agree with this review. There was a review from Mary Stevens of the Chicago Tribune, who described the children's series as exceptional and that its production quality is surprising surprisingly top-notch. She went on to say that the series offers an entertaining mixture of live action and animation and well-written stories with a positive moral message, and despite being based on Bible principles, the series isn't excessively preachy or pushy about it.
When you take out the dad, I think the dad character, then it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's like also extreme.
The dad part really upset me, and we'll get into it. Did you happen to catch the name of the company that produced this show? Because it jumped out at me.
I caught it really quickly, and I was going to do some research on that company. But remind me what the name is.
Focus on the Family.
That's right. That's right. And I was like, are we talking about the same Focus on the Family?
I did not dive deeper into that, but someone has already messaged us on Instagram. And their big thing, and I can't believe this wasn't already on my list, was they said, you guys have to do the Buttercream Gang, which I believe was... So we're going to have to, if we do this, we're going to have to bring in my horror movie night buddy, Kyle, who collects this stuff. And I believe the Buttercream Gang, he said, was like from a Mormon Christian company, like a hybrid company. And they would make these like... movies, and I think Focus on the Family may have been the name of that company as well. So I have to ask him. He'll be the expert on that type of stuff. But he was reviewing a lot of those movies as like on Horror Movie Night. We do like, what have we also watched this week? And he would bring up like, oh, I watched the Buttercream Gang this week. I watched The Week with No Showers this week. Like it was always these weird. He's like the way he described it, and I think it describes McGee and Me perfectly.
Oh, God.
Is he's like, they are these mostly inoffensive kid films that always have one or two moments that get far too preachy and also just a dash too racist. And I'm like, that is exactly how I would describe it. That's exactly
how McGee and Me would be described. 100%. I was like...
For 22 minutes, it's a perfectly fine kid show. And then there's like...
fairly well produced. I will admit, I was like, oh, they actually put some like time and some like stunt and budget effort into this.
It feels totally at place with like a Full House type show at this time.
But like has more than just the 3-camera sitcom sort of setup. Like it actually has different sets and like
it's a single cam sitcom without a laugh track, which is like I mean there's not a lot of places to laugh.
There's not, especially around their neighbor's house. Holy shit.
There's like 2 or 3 parts. There's 2 or 3 parts where we'll get to it. At the end of it, I was like, man, if they just end right here, this would be the best thing.
Yes. There were multiple endings that I was like, okay, I could totally conceivably see this, and then I would be like, oh, there's 10 more minutes on this boy. Okay.
It's a long 26 minutes for sure. But honestly, like going into this, I really thought that the animation was going to be far worse. I was kind of shocked by how good the animation sequences are. And even the bleeding of live action with like when the kid is interacting with McGee, I was like, this looks competent. Like, it's not as good as, say, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but it's good. Like,
no, but it's on the level of a Rice Krispies commercial. Like, he's literally sitting at the counter, like the kitchen counter that like felt like every kitchen counter in '89, you know? And then like the cartoon pops up, and I was like, oh, did they just take a Rice Krispie commercial and then just run with it?
Yeah, it's also interesting, like we said, like the biblical stuff, it opens with Bible stuff, which I did write. I really hope that the script just said, like, so we open on the Bible. Because it is just a shot of a Bible on a table.
My favorite is that it's like one of them strong Bibles with like a really thick spine and then just really floppy, thin papers. I was like, this reminds me of my college Bible that I had to like write a bunch of notes and stuff in.
But yeah, so we get this very quick Bible story about why it's important to tell the truth because of how bad the truth how bad lying can hurt people, and we get this animation with McGee being the Looney Tunesy example of like the spears coming at you the way that lies are like daggers or whatever. Like it's fine.
It's a nice little like aside throwaway sort of, you know, sort of Family Guy in a way where it's just like, oh, this could happen, or like this could happen.
Yeah. Exactly. And then we meet the family, mom, dad, his 2 sisters, and the dog with the craziest name I've ever heard, Whatever. Yeah. Whatever the dog.
I was like, what what is this? I was like, this is such a quirky family. How fun is this? And then it's kind of got like a Home Alone sort of feel with all the like siblings and stuff. Like this is a madhouse of a house.
But again, up until this point, I'm like, I'd watch that. Like if this was like a pilot on TV, I'd be like, okay, I want to see what adventures this quirky family gets into. And they do like a good, like I feel like the word we're going to keep saying is surprisingly competent. Like it is a surprisingly competent thing.
In some aspects. But then when they go off the rails, they really go off the rails.
Well, yes, so we do. So he has a bad first day at school. There's this bit,
new school.
Brand new school. There's this bit where a bunch of kids have spray painted something mocking the coach at the school, and they throw the spray can at our main character, Nicholas, as he rounds the corner and the coach sees him. Now, my issue with this is logistically putting myself in the shoes of an adult human.
Yep. Which never works out when you have kid logic on your side, but keep going.
But the way that this scene is framed is that you hear the coach yell at a group of kids.
Exactly.
And they scatter away. And then a couple seconds later, a bewildered kid who's wearing completely different clothes than the kids who ran away walks around the corner, seemingly confused, holding a spray paint can, and for some reason the coach is like, he's the kid who did it. Like, it makes no sense why the coach would think that.
He's already mad at him for a cut in school when he literally just didn't know where his classroom was. And I was like, why aren't you speaking up right now? Is the lie that you didn't know where your classroom was?
No, I wish the lie was something that innocent.
Wouldn't it be great if that was as simple as that? Because he gets into some hot water.
Well, listen, these are some of the meanest bullies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But for a split second, we step into a prequel to Extreme Days, where where Nicholas has a run-in with this gang of skateboarding bullies.
Yes.
But I have to say, best friend Lewis, love him right out the gate. Right, this kid pulls up on his bicycle, and he's just like, oh man, your rep as a bully is going to really drop hard if you're wasting your energy beating up a little nothing like this guy. I'm like, I love this reverse psychology bit.
This was so brilliantly written and brilliantly performed. Like, I was really impressed by this scene. I was like, I like this kid. I was like, oh, I should probably look up how like this actor's doing. I didn't, because the rest of it happened.
Well, and the rest of this is slight spoiler alert. Most of this Wikipedia is names without hyperlinks. So I'm going to say probably not great for most of the McGee and Me cast.
Gotcha. I'm also guessing that he's not the Kazoo Kid, because he just seems exactly like the Kazoo Kid.
Well, my enjoyment of Lewis kind of drops, and I just wrote a direct quote where he says, he's a crazy Indian who eats live animals. And I wrote, oh, there was the outdated stuff I was expecting to find here. Like, that whole sentence is problematic.
Welcome to the 90s. Yeah. I mean, like, it's even 89, so it's not even quite the 90s yet. But, like, the black kid is
close
saying
enough.
this.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, whoa, you were so cool. And then you brought that shit out.
But it's also because it's like, it's unnecessary, right? Like, the concept is simple enough. Hey, every town has that house that's filled with like urban legends and myths. Like, hey, I just heard that there's some weird stuff that goes on in that house. I would stay away from it. Like, you might go.
That's enough.
Like, you don't have to get into specific details.
You don't have to like harsh on his like his gender or his like fact that he's like alone. Like, we're really going full on Boo Radley with this guy.
Yes, hardcore Boo Radley.
Yeah.
But Nicholas, through the help of McGee, is like, listen, if I go up and like knock on this window, I'll be this hero.
Unfortunately, like, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, the basement doors give away. And again, I'm gonna say on the side of competent, the scene in the basement is shot wonderfully really well. In that, like, this would scare a kid. Like, you understand why Nicholas is terrified under the circumstances, even as an adult being like, oh, I think I see what's actually happening here. But still I also really
understand
effective.
From his perspective why he's so scared and why he would be willing to lie, which feels like a way worse lie of somebody in an emotional circumstance as opposed to Lewis, who just straight up says what he says.
Yeah. Well, and Lewis is like, again, I like Lewis in the beginning. Lewis is why we get to where we get, because he kind of starts filling in the blanks.
Fault.
Yeah. Lewis is like, what was happening in there? And he's like, well, he came down and he had a bunny. He's like, he was eating a live rabbit. And like, Nick is just like, I guess I'll go with this. Sure. Whatever you say. That's exactly what happened. That's how it played out.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Good morning, Crust. It's a great day to be a bread brother.
Ugh, mornings are not my jam. Or jelly.
Oh, come on. Stop loafing around.
I just woke up feeling hollow inside.
Psst, just grab one of the new Morning Uncrustables sandwiches, like Bright-Eyed Berry or Up and Apple, filled with 12 grams of protein and tons of deliciousness. Crust, what are you eating?
It's just granola, not even yogurt.
No crust, no fuss. Uncrust your mornings.
Are you a fan of young adult novels?
Have you ever wondered the stories behind the people who wrote your favorite young adult novels?
Then join author Eric J. Brown
and Alyssa Lube of Netflix's The Circle
every other Tuesday on YAOK.
Available on all podcasting apps.
Woo!
Like we've gone from like the lie of equivocation to basically make sure that the bully gets out of the way and that he doesn't beat up the kid, and like that I feel like is like an example of a good lie, you know, like something to get them into a different perspective that changes their mind and doesn't cause violence. Then we just show up at this house and boy does it just become an admission of lies that become more and more creative and more racist and insane. Like, this goes down a path that I did not expect.
No, and I think that, like, 2 weeks ago we did a VeggieTales episode. VeggieTales handles this exact same concept so much more beautifully with the rumor weed. You know what I mean? Like, the rumor weed is handled so delicately, and, it's those, or like the little lies, like Junior Asparagus just lies about how the plate was broken, and it gets so outrageous and over the top, but no one's, like, in danger beyond his friend might get punished for it. Now,
or someone might die because of this.
Yes. We get this. I do like, and I hope that this continues through the other episodes that I'm sure we'll inevitably watch, but like, I like the idea that we get these animated McGee solo segments that kind of show it in a much more cartoonish way, and we get this element where he's playing baseball. I love the joke that the scoreboard, the teams are just us versus them, is like a very funny little bit. But
it's a pretty smart joke. It's a pretty smart joke.
But he hits a home run and breaks a window, and then in his version of issues, like the entire police force is now coming, guns loaded, ready to go, and he in a panic gives the baseball bat, which is the piece of evidence, to another kid who gets arrested and
he's just crying.
It's like effective. It's like it really draws like, hey, this is what lying can do. Like,
but it's also like, Jesus Christ, tone down the emotions, you guys. Like, chill out. Like, and it's this big, very clearly bully of a cop, just like, okay, man, where's the guy? Way to go.
Yeah.
Like, he's definitely a Guido. But this, he's also the PE coach.
Yes. It's an interesting take, is what we'll say. I think that'll be the best way to put it. But then, like, I hope also, like, we bounce back to Nick, and he's drawing his McGee comic to work his way through all the things he did wrong here. And I hope that we keep seeing more of these weird-ass inventions that he's built, because he has a solar-powered door.
Yeah, with like a like he can shine a light on it that can like open it up for him.
Yeah,
like,
he shines the light on the solar panel and it pulls a rope that opens the like. I'm like, I'm into this. I'm into this kid in his Rube Goldberg bedroom.
Dude, I was like, oh, is this where some of my like my contraption stuff like started, where I wanted to like build contraptions in my room with my Kinects and whatnot? Like,
yeah.
I feel like this was definitely a zeitgeist moment, really well constructed, but it was also like, why do you have a solar panel?
Why not? But here's where we get into my biggest issue, right? And I'm going to just read verbatim what I wrote down. And
Please.
I said, man, this talk with the dad would work without the God part. And I feel like the scene strikes at the core of where the Christian content always fumbles the ball. It never feels natural, and it alienates with the message. Like a perfectly good moral story turns into, you don't want to lie because then you'll hurt Jesus and break your relationship with God.
Dude.
Like
that the third person, when he's like, but you hurt a third person. Yeah, you really do. That's Jesus. You're gonna make Jesus cry? I was like, wow, buddy. This is what makes it feel more like gaslighting than it does about like, hey, doing the right thing makes everybody okay.
It's like guilt mongering at that point. It's really, 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 really messed up. And like that's the stuff where I'm like, God damn it! Like they came so close, and I totally understand why ABC like
cut that part.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna get this part out of here right now.
I was fine with that actor being out of it. Like that was not a good.
The actor who plays the dad, only actor with a hyperlink of the main cast.
Shut up! Of course he is.
So
what else was he on?
I don't know. Let's find out. He kept getting work. He got enough work. I'd love to click in here and it just be like, most notable is Dad from McGee and Me.
McGee and Me. Yeah,
Like,
I was like, does he have
just-
mostly focus on the family content?
Dad's just over there updating his own Wikipedia page. Terry Bosman, McGee and Me, The Rules of Engagement. He played jury number 4. He played attorney Brad Lewis in 15 episodes of CSI. He was the principal in 2012's The Amazing Spider-Man.
What?
Yeah, and he was the CIA award presenter in 2007's Charlie Wilson's War. So, not a household name, but got
Homie's
into
still
some
acting.
legit ass things.
Yeah. He's still acting.
Yeah, so good for him. I actually forgot to mention this, but actually the co-creator of McGee and Me was a guy named Bill Myers, who has written over 80 books covering genres of comedy, horror, thriller, and nonfiction. The most notable thing he's done beyond McGee and Me was that he wrote a Christian comedy detective series of books called The Bloodhounds Incorporated, which was also turned into like a Christian DVD type series. And in the 2000s, I kind of want to read this book just based on this one sentence I found. But in 2000, he wrote a book called Eli, which was a retelling of the Jesus story if it happened in a contemporary setting.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, this could either be really interesting or unbelievably problematic.
I'm not quite sure where that's gonna lie, because some of the writing on this show was really good and some of the writing on the show was whoa.
Yeah. So we really escalate things though. Well, actually, I would be remiss to not talk about the Love Never Lies song that we get in
What a
this
banger.
montage.
What a
I literally
banger.
wrote, what a cheesy ultra 80s bop.
Complete like to the point where I was like, I'm a little afraid this is gonna get stuck in my head, but pretty dang good. Becomes ominous as the show goes on. Like creepy ominous.
But this is where I actually think that they made some interesting choices. I don't know if they're the right choices, but they made some interesting choices, right? That because of Nick's lie about what happened when he fell into that house, now the kids really think that this man is doing awful things and eating animals or whatever. Yeah. And the bullies
turn
decide
into MAGA.
They're like, we're going to throw rocks through this building and we're going to, free all of these animals. And it is a really intense scene of them like smashing up these crates and setting all these animals free.
Animals.
Real animals. A real ass skunk runs across the screen at one point.
They have real pigeons and stuff that they're flinging into the air. And I was like, okay, maybe their animal budget was unreal. Or maybe they just did this with live animals, and I feel like the ASPCA would not be happy about this.
You know, as I think about it, neither one of us saw a no animals were harmed in the making of this episode message at the beginning or the end. But I have to say, I love the creative decision that Nick shows up too late to stop any of this from happening.
Was also so sad and terrifying because you have the lying song as he's running very slowly down the block.
Slowly. He's not panicked enough.
He was not nearly good enough in PE.
No. And then we get the shot of the old man holding the bleeding rabbit, and it definitely gives off a little too much of that outdated littering commercial that we all know.
The guy in the tear. I mean, it was going for that for sure, but he's got a bloody rabbit in his arms.
But and then the last note I wrote, like it shows him crying, and then it like crossfades into a picture of Jesus crying.
Oh my God! I turned my computer around because I was listening to it with noise canceling headphones on while Mark was watching I don't know, something on YouTube, and I turned the computer around and showed him the picture of Jesus crying because I was like, Jesus.
Well, so it's Jesus crying, and then it cuts to Nicholas on his bed also crying, looking at the picture of Jesus crying, and it fades to black, and I thought, man, if it ends right here, this is my favorite thing we've ever watched.
Great. It would be awesome. It would be fine.
Just ends on the most tragic, sad note humanly possible.
You made Jesus cry, you will cry with Jesus cry.
Exactly. But we do get this nice enough ending where he atones for causing all this by helping clean up the place. But
at the same time, no, my favorite is that he cries with Jesus, and then the next thing he's sweeping up the porch or whatever, and he's talking about, I know Jesus forgave me. And I was like, hold on, we didn't see that moment. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, what were you hoping for? That the picture on his wall would also become a cartoon character like McGee and just be like, hey, everything's okay.
And then Jesus has the voice of the dad as the VO. And he's like, I'm that third friend.
Yeah. This is how you treat your third friend?
Exactly.
Yeah, it takes some interesting twists and turns and decisions.
I think this is also where a lot of the Christian content really misses the step, and I think has shown a lot of bad habits in their content, which is there's not an actual literal on-screen come to Jesus moment. No. He acknowledges that he did wrong, he lied, and his friends, the only person that really understands the extent of that lie ends up being Lewis, who's like, you lied about that, didn't you? And he's like, yeah, I did. And then that's the only moment where we get any kind of repercussions other than him sweeping the porch of this poor man who lost all his animals.
But we do have to talk about the very, very end of this, which is the most fever dream ending imaginable, which is McGee is swimming in a bowl of water that a raccoon is eating out of, and Nick is you could be helping me, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm hanging out with this raccoon. He's like, raccoons always wash their food before they eat it. And McGee's like, oh my God, I'm gonna be food, and he's yelling for help. And Nicholas is just like, ha, 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 and it just keeps cutting back and forth between
him
a
laughing.
raccoon who has no clue what's going on at all.
Just doing its own raccoon thing while an animation just screams for its life.
And Nicholas is just cackling, and it's almost like a loop of the same 5 seconds that they got of this kid laughing. And it goes on for uncomfortably too long.
Uncomfortably long. No, to the point where I was like, did I just watch the version that people wanted to show people to freak them out while they're high? That's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, you want to get high? Well, watch this part of McGee and me, and you'll never want to get high again.
Well, talk about someone with a lot of extra time on their hands. If somebody was like, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my own version of the first episode of McGee and Me, but I'm just going to extend the last 30 seconds to go for like 5 to 6
hours.
minutes.
5 hours.
Just like it's a regular episode until you get to the very end. And you're like, why are they still laughing? when is it going to end?
I know someone is listening to this out there who's going to do it. And I'm more terrified of that. I thank you for your service. But my lord.
I mean, it's early in our show right now, right? We're 6 episodes in. I would say that this is probably the worst thing we've watched thus far, but I would still say not awful.
Terrible.
This is like it was like 60% decent. Like
I would still say it has more of a plot than Extreme Days.
Yes. Extreme Days was way less like offensive to watch beyond like the lack of filmmaking. The filmmaking was rough. There's definitely, but like, listen, don't get me wrong. I will never not pretend that Extreme Days was the longest 85 minutes. Like, but like all in all, like I am still thinking about Extreme Days and like these little moments in a way that I feel like McGee and Me episode 1 will completely disappear from my banks,
I agree.
the brain in like a couple days.
I agree. Yeah, no, it definitely feels like one of those that I'm going to etch a sketch and be like, oh yeah, maybe that's why I felt so familiar with this show when watching it, and then being like, have I watched this show? I don't know.
I feel like a few months from now, we'll watch another episode of McGee and Me, and you'll go through that same process of like, have I ever watched an episode of McGee and Me? And it's like, yes, for this podcast a couple months ago.
100%. That is exactly what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to be like, it feels so familiar. And you'll be like, we watched one before. And I'll be like, I don't think so. I think I dreamed
don't
that.
think that's what it is. I would remember that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, the fact that there's only 11 to 12 actual episodes of this, I'm content if we get through this whole series during the run of this podcast. But I don't want to watch all 12 in a row. That's for damn sure. But
I'm definitely fine with spreading it out over the year.
Yeah, paced out every couple months. We dive into another one. Like VeggieTales, I'd happily do like a VeggieTales episode a month. Like not a problem in my life with that.
Yeah,
but
no, nor I. Yeah.
McGee and Me.
McGee might be a bi-monthly in the 2 months or so. Maybe we go for the trio, the Holy Trinity. Every 3 months we watch a McGee and Me.
Yeah. Well, so I will say that now that we've watched McGee and Me and we know what it is, because that was the thing. I didn't want to.
Do we know what it is?
Well, like, here's my thing. I wanted to watch it, just you and I, to familiarize what it is so that we have a better understanding of like who are the guests that we reach out to the next time. Because now that I've watched this, Robert Bacon is definitely a name that's on the list of someone that I like.
My gosh,
his takes on this, because he's already an animator, so like he'll be able to look at it through that lens a little bit.
And a really good one, no less.
Yeah, like so.
And
I
to
think
be able
that's
to talk
what
about
we
this
need.
like hand-drawn animation, which is like even here in the 90s, like that's a big endeavor for a TV show to have a cross-play of like live animation with live performer. That's not something that would happen a lot. Like that takes a lot of work and a lot of ingenuity in order to keep that going.
No, 100%. But yeah, so now we know like who the people are that we can book as guests for future McGee and Me. So I do think that there'll be more of these in the near future. But Katie, I am so excited because starting next week, a month that I've been looking forward to, and we'll probably do this until we finish their whole discography year after year, but we're going to start a tradition that is 5 Iron February.
I'm so excited.
And we're just going to work our way through their discography, and we're going to hopefully have some interviews with members of the band to break up the album. So we'll see what happens, but Katie, strap in because you're going to listen to upbeats and beatdowns next week. And we'll go track by track and get your feelings on it.
I'm excited. I'm very excited about this. I feel like we're broaching into some of the things that like with music, I'm not very well versed in music, but I do know that there was a lot of really good bands at this time.
I'm ready to introduce you to some of the really, really good bands.
I'm very excited to hear it.
Why do growing businesses love working in Slack? Let's ask Christy at Ari Bikes.
Running things in Slack saves me so much time.
AI summaries save 97 minutes per week. What say you, Rox from Gosney?
Slack helps us build community, it helps us build connection.
Your partners, vendors, and customers all in one place. Take us on home, Ashley from Caraway.
If we didn't have Slack tomorrow, I would explode.
Well, let's not let that happen. Visit slack.com/podcast to get 50% off Slack Business Plus.
Remember when James Cameron nearly directed a Spider-Man movie?
What about when we almost got Batman Year One with Joaquin Phoenix?
Or David Goyer's Flash movie that would have starred Ryan Reynolds?
Well, if you want to learn about all the unmade superhero movies, then check out Superhero Stuff You Should Know.
Hosted by Ben Wan and Alex Ramsey, every month we cover nostalgic superhero movies with deep dives into unmade scripts, early drafts, deleted scenes, alternate cuts, concept art, novelizations, and tie-in novels.
We also interview the people involved in making the superhero films of our childhood, with our past guests including superhero actors, directors, screenwriters, and concept artists.
So remember, that's Superhero Stuff You Should Know, or Superhero SYSK on social media. Check us out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.